Hey, what's up, everybody? This is 10 at a Time, the short long form show, and I'm your host, Wildlin. Thank you so much for being here, and I've been gone. And before we get too far past Black History Month, there's just one more thing that I have on my chest that I want to get off. Please let me get this off my chest. It's a very recent revelation that I've had, and I don't have anywhere else to share it but here, and I'm sorry. I want to say I'm sorry because I've been gone from this particular format of content. I know that I did promise you all that I would do this more consistently, but in January, I've said this many times, my aunt passed away in Florida, and I had to go down and, kind of help tend to her children and her family and her house and talk to lawyers. And here's the thing that's true about passing away is that it's incredibly expensive. I don't know if anyone's ever told you that, but passing away is very costly, and I don't recommend that you do it if you're broke or if you're on a budget. If you have financial goals, the last thing that you should be doing is passing away. It's actually incredibly costly, and I'm talking time, money, energy, emotion. Now it's March, and I'm trying to get back into the groove and get back into the gear of what my goals were and what I was trying to do. And there's all this exciting stuff that I have in store, and there are so many new people here. And if you are new to my audience, I want to say thank you for checking me out and for giving me a chance. I have a lot of fun here, and I hope that you want to have a lot of fun with me. Anyway, back to what I wanted to say. In the spirit of Black History Month, I want to remind you that you are living your ancestors' wildest dreams. All of us are. My family is Haitian. We've got some folks on the Dominican side. I'm American, and anybody who is existing in the diasporic legacy of the transatlantic slave trade, if your ancestors could see where you are and what you're doing right now, even if you're doing nothing, that's the dream. They'd love to be doing nothing. They'd love for you to be doing nothing. You're so successful. And when they talk to me, that's what they say about you. You're incredibly successful, and we're happy for you. When I think about specific ancestors and who their specific dreams might be being fulfilled by, I think of W.E.B. Du Bois and Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon is W.E.B. Du Bois's wildest dreams. Nick Cannon is W.E.B. Du Bois's wet dream. Everything that W.E.B. Du Bois built in his life, he built for Nick Cannon, who inherits it more than anyone else on this earth. If you don't already know who W.E.B. Du Bois is, I'll tell you. Du Bois is a black civil rights activist, historian, sociologist, born in the mid 1800s, right? Born in Massachusetts, died in Ghana. Died in Ghana because the first president of Ghana invited him, and he moved there at the age of 93. That's a reminder that it is never too late. It's never too late for you to start over, especially when the president of a nation invites you to start over. It's never too late. He moved there with his second wife. Another reminder that it is never too late. It's never too late. Why don't you move to another country with your second wife at the age of 93? He spent the last 2 years of his life there. But around the turn of the century, the 20th century, and in 1901, he wrote a book called The Souls of Black Folk. 1901? Maybe 1903. 1901, falling, 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 falling. Y'all remember that song? I auditioned for a musical in the middle school, Into the Woods Junior, and I sang Listomania by Phoenix. And I'm realizing now that me doing a little conversation about W.E.B. Du Bois's double consciousness while telling you about my love for Caucasian pop music as performed by the band Phoenix is actually exactly what he would have wanted. Anyway, in this book, The Souls of Black Folk, he talks about this concept called double consciousness. Double consciousness is kind of it's a theory about the ways that people of marginal identity might be compartmentalizing their minds as they move through a hegemonic culture that doesn't represent them, right? So for example, you go to work in a corporate setting as a black person, and you might be expected to code switch. You're doing that because you understand the power dynamics that exist as a black person. And also there's the part of your brain that maintains your mother tongue. Amen. Your mother tongue from the motherland. Both of those things are kind of being processed in parallel, right? You're grappling with the assimilated majority experience and understanding the lens through which you're being consumed and engaged with as a black person. And then there's probably the more authentic part of your mind that's holding space for your authentic and sincere identity and personality. I hope that that's a good enough explanation of what double consciousness is, right? That there are two wolves inside you, and you have to decide who's going to be fed, and one of them is a white supremacist. That's not true. That's not what it means. But I hope that that's a good enough explanation, because I was at the laundromat a couple of days ago. I don't have laundry in building even, not in unit and not even in building. And if you want to help support me and change my life, then you can find my Cash App and buy. No, I'm kidding. I don't have laundry in building. I don't have laundry in unit. I went down to the laundromat, which is a nice thing that I like to do. I make good friends with my laundromat lady, and she's nice to me every time I come in. And I think that means she spends a little extra time and love on my sheets when I give them to her. She is extra careful with my duvet. This time, I'm not doing drop-off service. I'm doing my laundry myself because I'm trying to get better about doing my own laundry and going to the laundromat and sitting in Here's the thing about dropping off your laundry is that it's like any other addiction. Sex, drugs, gambling, walking through an animal shelter and pretending you're going to adopt something. It's like any other addiction. It'll grip you that first time and then your life changes forever. I don't recommend, unless you have the budget to sustain it forever, I don't recommend that you ever drop off your laundry for service. This time I was doing the laundry myself because I'm trying to heal. I'm trying to heal that part of me. You understand? I'm going through this like an AA program. And so I'm throwing my whites in the dryer and I look up at the television and guess what I see? It's a Shrek crossover episode with The Masked Singer, which is interesting now because they just announced a new Shrek movie is coming out with Zendaya. And when I saw that Zendaya was going to be in the new Shrek movie, I had to think, does Zendaya need the money or does she think she's invincible? Is she doing this because she needs the money or is she doing this because she realizes we'll show up wherever she goes? She could do anything and we'll be there. Is she fucking with me? Zendaya, are you fucking with me? Do you think you can single-handedly save that 6-year-old cast from what might be a flop franchise movie? I don't know. I haven't seen it. I love Shrek. I believe in them. But you think just because you pulled up voice acting for a teenage ogre with a half up, half down hairdo and some bangs that I'm going to roll over and show up whenever you need me to show up? Maybe at a 3 o'clock matinee before the kids get out of school. Give me 2 tickets right now and a large popcorn. God damn it, she fucking got me. God damn it, she fucking got me again. What would you guys say the odds are of Shrek 5 having a subplot where 2 athletic boy ogres kiss because they're actually both in love with Zendaya's ogre? Anyway, what was I fucking talking about? I've never seen an episode of The Masked Singer before, but I believe in it in theory. And I look and I see Nick Cannon is the host of The Masked Singer. Now, if you are black, you know that the name Nick Cannon actually, if you say it 3 times in a mirror and turn around with the lights turned off in the bathroom, that he'll come out of the mirror and drop a baby into your hand, right? Nick Cannon has a very specific cultural connotation in the black community. His name evokes very specific images. One's related to and unrelated to Mariah Carey. So, I kind of jump when I see Nick Cannon is the host of The Masked Singer because also I haven't seen Nick Cannon anywhere besides the Shade Room in years. I haven't seen Nick Cannon anywhere besides the clip of a TikTok stitch in years. So to think that he could be here front and center on an ABC hit series hosting the show, I didn't know that he was in his Ryan Seacrest bag still. So it was very impressive to me. And then I realized that maybe I was the only one who knew who Nick Cannon was. All of the people on the show seemed to really enjoy him in an uncomplicated, unnuanced way. They just enjoyed his banter. They didn't have the mired, murky relationship to Nick Cannon that me and so many other black people have. And that's when I realized that every day Nick Cannon wakes up and he lives 2 lives. His Wildlin out Shade Room commentary life in the black community, and then when the time comes, he gets on his Slack chat with his 17 kids and says, Daddy's going to work now, and shows up to that Caucasian job on NBC. And everybody loves him. He's completely separated and compartmentalized his identity into 2 clean halves. And the 2 nary shall meet. Which honestly, if you're asking me now, is incredibly impressive. God bless you, Nick Cannon. When W.E.B. Du Bois theorized double consciousness, that's what it was. It was a theory. And even then it was a theory about like a psychological event, an event that happened inside someone's interior mind. But now we can see that double consciousness, that compartmentalization of hegemonic white American mainstream identity, that being completely severed and separated, compartmentalized away from the very complicated, nuanced conversation in a Club Shay Shay comment section. I mean, that is what Du Bois always wanted. It's not that double consciousness is a psychological event happening inside of Nick Cannon, but it's actually manifested itself as a sociological force enacting itself on our lives as black people. at this point, double consciousness is a sociological force more than it is a psychological happening, and that I just think is so fascinating. So I want to thank you, W.E.B. Du Bois. This is Black History Month, and I also want to thank you, Nick Cannon. This is Black History Month. We couldn't have done it without you. Yeah, and that's it. That's all I have to say. My name is Wildlin. This has been 10 at a Time, the short long form show, and I'll see you next time. Bye.